Hello! My name is Kallista, and welcome to something a little bit different for me. I am a massive Dragon Age fan, and what with all these new trailers coming out for Veilguard, I wanted to cast my eye over them, maybe analyse them a little bit, and start getting hyped for when the game releases. Today we're in for a double feature as we're going to be talking about both the reveal trailer and the gameplay trailer. Now, I know I'm a few days late to the party with the reveal trailer, so let's jump straight in. The trailer opens on a lovely shot of Minrathous in Tevinter. You can tell it's Minrathous from the bridge, which is also the only way to get into the capital. I absolutely love the design of the spires. It reminds me a little bit of Kirkwall, but Kirkwall was originally built by the Vint, so it makes sense that there'd be some architectural similarities. We can also see the floating citadel in the background. We've actually already seen this in the Game Awards teaser from back in 2020. In the gameplay trailer, we can see that this structure is some sort of guard tower, or perhaps a floating prison, with spotlights sweeping over the city to ensure that everyone's being nice and compliant. We then transition to a bar with Varric and Harding fighting, presumably Venatori. The design of their armour is definitely Tevinter in fashion, though the symbol on their hoods is new. To me it looks a little bit like a flame, but I can't be sure. If you have any theories on what this symbol could be, let me know in the comments below. It is so good to see Varric and Harding again. In The Missing, one of the comics, they revealed there had been a 10-year time skip, and Varric is certainly showing those 10 years, looking like a silver fox. Ow! Now, I'm sure that plenty of people have covered the new companions, so I'm going to try and go through them fairly quickly. First up is, of course, the lovely Lace Harding. The Dwarven Scout returns to the fray as a companion, with her big heart, a positive outlook, and a ready bow, as well as unexpected magical powers. First Shaper Volta in the Descent, there was Sandal of course, and now Scout Harding. The dwarves are getting magic. From this trailer, it doesn't seem like Harding has magic, she's just using her bow and well, a tankard. Though considering what happens in the gameplay trailer, I wonder if Harding will gain her powers during the game. Next up is Nev Gallus, a cynic fighting for a better future, both as a private detective and a member of Tevinter's rebellious shadow dragons. Nev first appeared in the franchise in Tevinter Nights, specifically the streets of Minrathous. Long story short, Nev was investigating a Venatori plot to free a powerful demon that's sealed under Minrathous. A demon so powerful that it was said that only a god could summon it. She also made an appearance in The Missing, where she helps Varric and Harding investigate Solus. We don't know much about the organisation she works for, the Shadow Dragons, beyond that they are a secretive group who help those in need. I love Nev's design. One of her legs is a dwarven prosthetic. It looks very cool, and I love her veil. It's so extra. Then we're introduced to Lucanus, a poised and pragmatic assassin who descends from the bloodline of the House of Crows, a criminal organisation renowned throughout Thedas. Lucanus is another character who was introduced in Tevinter Nights. In the Wigmaker job, Lucanus was contracted to kill Forfex, Tevinter's premier Wigmaker. Forfex was also a Venatori blood mage, which means he'd been up to some rather abhorrent stuff, and Lucanus ended up being attacked by demonic wigs. I'm not even joking there, that's what actually happened. At some point, Lucanus fakes his death, how very Zevran of him. I'm sure I don't need to explain who the House of Crows are, but for anyone new to the franchise, they are an elite group of thieves, spies, and assassins hailing from Antiva. Moving on to Balara, a creative and romantic veil jumper obsessed with uncovering ancient secrets. Now that's pretty much all we know about Balara, as she is a completely new character, though there are a couple of things we can take away from her. Firstly is her Valisline. Her markings are unique, so this is an educated guess. The markings on her forehead seem reminiscent of a third eye to me, and you can also see some tattoos on her cheekbones. So I wondered if her Valisleen is dedicated to Dirthamin. He is the keeper of secrets after all, and seeing as she wants to uncover secrets, it would make sense. Next is her left arm. She's wearing some type of gauntlet that can seemingly turn into a bow, which we see in the big fight scene at the end. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that it's a prosthetic, but personally, I don't think it is. We've been given a shot of all the companions hanging out together, and as you can see, Balara has both arms. I think this may be some kind of artifact she found while exploring Arlathan Forest. In concept art of a Veil Jumper, we can see a somewhat similar bow. And who are the Veil Jumpers? Again, we don't have much information on them, besides they are a group of Dalish elves alongside non-elves who formed to deal with the threat of what is happening in Arlathan Forest, which has become extremely chaotic since Solus has been attempting to tear down the Veil. Next, we have the very suave-looking Emmerich, a necromancer of Navara's Mornwatch, who comes complete with a skeletal assistant, Manfred. Emmerich originates from Tevinter Nights in the short story Down Among the Dead Men. He was tasked with putting a spirit to rest under the Grand Necropolis. Down Among the Dead Men is actually one of my favourites, so I'd highly recommend reading it for yourself. And his faction, the Mornwatch, are a faction within the Mortalitazi, Navara's death mages. They are the guardians of the Grand Necropolis and tend to deal with magic that goes awry, especially when it relates to corpses. Then there's Davrin, a bold and charming Grey Warden who has made a name for himself as a monster hunter. And he has a baby griffin with him! This little beastie is apparently called a San, which is the elven word for arrow. Personally, I was hoping he'd be called Feathers, like Meryl wanted in Dragon Age 2, but a San is a lovely name too. I'm sure I'm going to be cooing over him all throughout the game, but back to Davrin. Like Balara, we know very little about him besides what is shown in this trailer. He does also have Valisleen, and again, I'm just guessing here, but to me it looks a little bit like Juné's Valisleen, with the very simple, bold lines. Not your typical Valisleen for a monster hunter, I know, but maybe he was a craftsman before he joined the Wardens. Or perhaps it could be for Gillenane. The curved points somewhat resemble horns. And again, I'm sure I don't need to explain who the Grey Wardens are, but for any newcomers, they are an order of warriors dedicated to fighting the Darkspawn throughout Thedas. And last, but by no means least, we have Tash, a dragon hunter allied with the Lords of Fortune who lives for adventures and doesn't mind taking risks. As another completely new character, I don't have much I can say about her. Her name, Tash, clearly comes from the Qunat word Atashi, which means glorious ones, and is also their word for dragons. She's also missing a horn. She's replaced it with maybe an emerald replacement, which really suits her whole treasure hunter aesthetic, which is exactly what the Lords of Fortune are. They are the greatest treasure hunters in the world. Now, all of the companions have been confirmed romanceable, they're all pansexual, and according to Corrine Bouche, the romances can get pretty spicy. Well, Baldur's Gate 3 did give us bear banging, maybe Veilguard will give us skeletal boning. I'm coming for you, Manfred. But that's enough thirst for today. It's time to talk about our new protagonist, Rook, looking very similar to how he did in the 2020 Game Awards teaser. It's been confirmed that Rook is completely customizable. They can be human, dwarven, elven, or Qunari, and we will have a choice of 6 different factions for Rook to originally be a part of. These 6 factions are the Shadow Dragons, the House of Crows, the Veil Jumpers, the Mornwatch, the Grey Wardens, and the Lords of Fortune. So it seems that Rook will be starting the game being somewhat connected to one of the companions, depending on which faction they pick. I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about Rook's title, as that's very interesting to me. In 2016, BioWare teased these red books with a Rook chess piece on it, so it's likely that Rook refers to the chess piece rather than the bird. Now, the Rook is an interesting piece, as it gets more powerful the further into endgame you get. At the start, the Rook is penned in by its allies, it can't really move about, but as the board opens up, the Rook can start moving and doing what it does best, taking out enemy pieces. I think this is going to be Rook's story. They're somewhat confined by their original faction, and when that faction joins up with what remains of the Inquisition, that allows Rook more opportunities to act, which inevitably gets Varric and Harding's attention, as we see in this teaser. We close out the reveal trailer with all the companions fighting what looks to be Red Lyrium Darkspawn, which is a terrifying thought. When the dragon rises up, we can see 4 statues in the background, very similar to the statues in the gameplay trailer. Perhaps this is the same location, twisted after Solas's spell went wrong. Though part of me wonders if this could be a location in the Fade or even the Crossroads. This location doesn't seem entirely natural to me. All in all, I love this trailer. I know some people didn't like the art style, but personally, it reminded me a little bit of the miniatures you use for Dungeons and Dragons. And to be honest, the reveal trailers have never really matched up with what the final game looked like. Before I move on to the gameplay trailer, I just want to give my theory on which companion is inevitably going to betray us. You know it's gonna happen, I know it, everyone knows it. One of these people is going to break our hearts next to a waterfall and crush it into little pieces. Personally, my money is on Lucanus, and no, it's not because he's an assassin, it's because of his pauldrons. If you look closely, they're covered in eyes, blue eyes, rather like a certain image we've been shown. It's not much, it'll probably be proved wrong, but that's my current theory. And now let's move on to the gameplay trailer. Solas is tearing up the veil once again, and we've got to stop him.
I hope Nev's as good at finding people as you claim.
She's the best damn detective I've ever met. If she says she's got a lead on Solas, I believe her.
Should we be in more of a hurry to get out of here?
We don't want to look conspicuous. Just get out of here nice and casual. Find Nev Gallus and stop Solas.
Now, this is pretty minor, but I absolutely love the magic neon sign. That bright neon on the grey backdrop, the only other light being the spotlights and the sound of the rain. I love this opening shot. It feels so gritty.
You still think you can talk him down before he starts his big ritual?
That ritual is going to tear down the veil. The only thing separating us from the Fade and an endless number of demons. I have to talk him down.
I'm really surprised with how much of a police state Minrathous is. They literally have Big Brother watching over them. I'm not sure what I expected Minrathous to be like, but I didn't expect it to be Orwellian.
Is it because of the bar?
Word travels fast in Minrathous.
We've got to help her.
And look at this lady's hair. They have confirmed long and curly hairstyles, and I really hope this ponytail is available to the player. But back to the action. The pigs shouldn't have been going after people with gorgeous hair, as Solas opens a tear right in the middle of the floating citadel.
Oh, crap.
We're too late.
Oh crap indeed!
Ritual started. But if we hurry, we can still stop Solas before it finishes. Let's go! Harding's this way. She'll get us to Dumont Plaza. Watch out!
And we have a very good look at the demons here. We can see that they've had a bit of a makeover. I've got to be honest, I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Solas summoning demons on purpose?
My guess is the veil is weakening, and they're slipping through the cracks.
I like how the rage demons look, but I'm not a fan of the pride demons. I mean, look at that. They used to look cute. I just wanted to pet them. I can't pet that. Rest in peace, pride demon. We hardly knew ye.
Come on, this way. It should get us to Harding.
Rook and Varric meet up with Harding, who's defending a woman and a little girl who also has amazing hair. Yes, I am going to point out good hair whenever I see it. Sorry, Solas.
Harding, you all right?
I've been doing what I can to help. The ritual must be weakening the veil. There are a lot of scared people out here.
And a lot of demons. Haven't seen this many come through the Fade in years.
I love this shot of all the rifts. Absolutely
What
stunning.
about you two? Are you okay?
We get a good look at the conversation wheel. The symbols look damn near identical to the ones in Inquisition.
We're good, but we need to move.
Agreed. Solus isn't waiting, neither can we.
Have you got my gear?
Right over there. Where's Nev Gallus? Wasn't she at the meeting point?
The Venatori got to her first. They grabbed her before we arrived and paid off the bar owner to keep it quiet.
And there we have confirmation
I'm
that
not
it was the
surprised our
Venatori Rook
detective
was
did
fighting in the
something
bar.
to piss off a cult of murderous blood mages, but their timing stinks. The bar owner said the Venatori took Nev to Dumont Plaza. Can you get us there, Harding?
Rook, you're with the Shadow Dragons. I figured you'd know Minrathous better than I do.
Sure, but Minrathous is huge, and this is nowhere near my neighborhood. I can try.
Don't worry, scouting's my specialty. Follow me.
Eyes up. We've got company.
Demons, here they
Now,
come.
cards on the table, I have no opinions on the combat. I'm the type of person who learns by doing. I need to actually get my hands on the game, you know, see what the key bindings are like, see how it controls with the keyboard. I need to see how I get on with it before I can form an opinion. I will admit I was a little disappointed by the lack of blood splatter. However, the devs have confirmed there is blood splatter in game. It was just turned off for the trailer, so I'm happy with that. We can see that Rook has both melee and ranged options, so you aren't confined to one strict playstyle. I'm gonna skip ahead to meeting up with Nev. Again, I love that veil, it's so classy. We've seen examples of Tevinter fashion in concept art, so I was hoping for some very extra outfits. And so far, I'm not disappointed.
So good to see you. We thought the Venatori had kidnapped you.
They thought the same thing. A lot of Venatori in the city have reason to hate me. Figured I'd play along.
I can't identify Nev's voice actress. It doesn't sound like anyone I've heard before. If you have any ideas, please do let me know.
Appreciate it. Rook, this is Nev Gallus, our local expert. She's gonna help us find Solus. Nev, meet Rook. Both of you have done some work for the Shadow Dragons.
Isn't that a coincidence?
Some old friends said if I was working in Tevinter, the Shadow Dragons are worth trusting.
I know that small lines like these are relatively minor details, but I love that they're referencing, hey, you and Nev work for the same group. I don't expect the background options to have a massive effect, but just little references to what the player picked out go a long way in my opinion.
I haven't seen Solus in person, but I did find hints of old magic, similar to what you get in Elven ruins. I traced it to a building beneath Our Lady of Victory. That's where your man is hiding.
Then let's go, before this ritual he's doing gets any worse.
Worse, this ritual's already drawing more power than I'd expect from a dozen mages. You told me he was working alone.
I also told you he was an ancient elven god.
An elven god. Well, whatever he is, he's causing trouble in my city. Let's go.
All citizens in the canal district must remain in their homes.
And I'm going to skip forward again. We get a better look at the statues we saw before. They also match up to the two figures we got concept art of a few years ago, Beetle and Moonhead. And there he is, the man who broke our hearts so long ago. It's been 10 years and I'm still not over it.
All right, I'll take it from here.
Are you sure?
Positive. You three just keep the demons off me while I talk to him.
Varric, Solus isn't gonna stop just because an old friend asks nicely.
Solus needs someone to sell him another option, to help him justify changing his mind.
Oh, bless Varric's good nature, but that plan was never going to work.
Come on, Varric. We didn't come all this way just to talk to him.
He was my friend, Rook. I gotta try to reach him. But if he won't listen to me, then he'll hear from Bianca.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
More demons.
Take care of the team for me.
I love how the music swells for this moment, and it sounds so bittersweet. I think the soundtrack for Veilguard is going to be amazing.
Hey, Chuckles. Hope I'm not interrupting.
When did Solus start moisturizing? I need this man's skincare routine ASAP.
Let's buy him some time.
During this combat segment, we do actually have a good shot of Harding attacking. I can't tell if this is a magical attack or if it's just combat ability that all archers get. I've mentioned this before, but I'm wondering if this is the mission where Harding will get her magic, but I just wanted to point this out as it's possible she'll have that at the start of the game.
Is a wound inflicted upon this world. It must be healed.
By drowning the world in demons?
I have taken precautions to minimize the damage, Varric.
Minimize the... People are dying right now. You need to listen. Please.
And that's when Solus made this personal. We knew that Varric wasn't going to be a companion, assuming he doesn't also die. Bianca being destroyed is a pretty good way of taking Varric out of the fight. I assume he's going to take on more of an advisor role like Josephine or Liliana in Inquisition.
You want me to take the shot?
Won't work. He's too powerful.
What if we disrupt the ritual?
How?
See those statues? If we break the scaffolding holding that one up, the whole thing will come down on Solus.
It's risky. Interrupting a ritual of this scale will have consequences.
And what about the demons? Varric needs us to hold them off.
Right, you two stay here. I'll bring down the statue.
What? No. Stepping into all that raw magic is suicide.
The storm could tear you apart.
Anyone got a better idea?
Fine, but you'll need backup. I'm with you.
I'm a mage. I'll go.
Either way, someone needs to stay back and deal with the
I
demons.
like that Rook is the one who came up with the plan, and a suicidal plan as well. They're setting Rook up as the type of character who will do anything to get the job done, and I can work with that.
Let's go, Hardy.
Now, you might be
Keep the
able to
demons
hear
off us.
Varric and Solus are
You
having
got
a
it.
conversation, but it's drowned out by the storm. I've tried to subtitle this as best as I can.
Stand your hesitance. What now must be done. This is being passed to comprehension.
Why? Why tear down the veil? Knowing all the lives it'll cost.
We shared a journey years ago. Do you believe that I would do this if there was some other better option?
The pillar's weak, but
It isn't falling! We need to push it!
I'm with you.
Together! Now!
You came a long way and made a valiant effort, Varric, but this story does not end with my downfall.
Push!
And there we go. The ritual's gone catastrophically wrong. Solus's plans never work out. And Moonhead and Beetle have turned up. And that's all we get for now. I love Solus's look of absolute horror at the end there. You can tell that something awful has just been unleashed. Part of me wonders if Solus will be killed here. Patrick Weeks has made jokes directed at the people who wanted Solus to live happily ever after with Lavelle, yeah, that just isn't gonna happen. Part of me could see them killing Solus off here to indicate just how serious this new threat is. But I also think a lot of people would be very disappointed at not getting to kill Solus themselves. I think my personal theory is that Solus will flee. He'll go off somewhere to lick his wounds and formulate a plan going forward. And from there, I think the player will have to make the decision of, do you want to fight Solus or appeal to him? Do you want to fight these two and Solus, or do you want to try and get him on side so that he'll help you fight Beetle and Moonhead and give up on his plans to tear down the Veil? Though I think either path will lead to Solus's death. Either Rook kills him, or he'll sacrifice himself before the final battle. I could even see Solus realizing that the world he knew is gone forever and maybe taking his own life, or ending up being locked in the Fade forever to act as an eternal guardian. These are all just theories, of course, but that's how I think Veilguard is going to go. Personally, I love these two trailers, and I'm very excited for what is to come. But what did you think? Let me know in the comments below. When we get some more trailers, I might do another of these, but that's all for today. So I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are, and I'll see you around.